Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى لا سيما المصطفى صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Dear viewers everywhere, welcome to a new episode of Ask Huda during the blessed month of Ramadan. A few pending questions and phone numbers for your convenient contact information should appear on the screen, and I remember one of them, which is area code 002-011-2500-8679, and there's another number which is 0100-246-4583 in addition to the area code obviously, and the email address is ask@huda.tv, alternatively gardens@huda.tv. The pending questions, Brother Adnan, who inquired about the person who tasted or drank the blood of the Prophet ﷺ. There are a couple of ahadith in this regard. One, which Nabi ﷺ, after he's done from hijama, he gave the blood to Abdullah ibn Zubayr ibn Awam to throw it away or to hide it somewhere under the ground, because this is a sunnah to get rid of your stuff. So he drank it and he said, I hid it somewhere where no one can reach it. So this is one hadith. The second is Abu Hind al-Hajjam, the person who used to do cupping himself. He collected once the blood and he drank it. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam asked him, what did he do with the blood? He said, I drank it, his own blood, the Prophet's blood. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said to him, Wayhak, woe to you, who told you to do that? Based on these two ahadith, the first one is sound, the second one has a maqal in it, or a difference of opinion. The scholars or the commentators of the hadith say it's either because the Prophet ﷺ has a special case, as you all know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Jibreel alayhi salam to him twice, where he cut open his heart and he purified him and washed it with Zamzam water. You know these two incidents, once when he was very young, being taken care of Halima al-Sa'diyah, and the second is on the night of Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj. So the Prophet ﷺ is unlike any of us. Another group of the commentators said that the companion has done so obviously without the knowledge of the Prophet ﷺ, and that's why he did not approve it. He said to Abu Hind or to Abi Hind, Wayhak man amaraka bihada, woe to you who ordered you to do that. This is as far as the two hadith in this regard. The second email question is from Fatima from the KSA. That is the second pending question since yesterday or the last episode. She says, if a Muslim is in debt and he can't pay it off, can I give him zakah? What is the supplication for buying a new house? Two questions, but we'll take the first phone call first. Assalamu alaikum. Brother Farouk from the KSA.
Alaikum assalam, brother.
How are you, Brother Farouk? Ramadan Mubarak.
Alhamdulillah. Ramadan Mubarak to you, alhamdulillah.
Thank you.
Sheikh, I have just two simple questions.
Nah.
During the Taraweeh prayer in Ramadan, can Imam supplicate in his local language other than Arabic during the last rak'ah of Witr?
Okay.
And the second question is, I belong to India, Kashmir, and we don't have a lot of, Hafiz al-Quran. And during Taraweeh, can Imam, recite from the Quran? Can he read from the Quran?
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you, Brother Farouk. As far as the supplication in the prayer, in any other language, if the person does not know the supplication in Arabic, nor does he know Arabic or she, and it is not a prescribed supplication or one of the adhkar, that the more wide view is it is permissible. In the sujood, and in between in between the tashahhud and making the taslim, if the person does not know how to make the dua in Arabic. But I do not think it will be permissible for the Imam to recite in any other language, especially there is a hadith of the grandson of the Prophet ﷺ who narrated the qunut, Allahumma hdini fi man hadayt, if it is singular, if it is plural, Allahumma hdina fi man hadayt, wa afina fi man afayt, wa tawallana fi man tawallayt, wa qina wasrif anna sharra ma qadayt. So it will be better if he's satisfied with the prescribed supplication and he recites that in the qunut. Then everyone on their own, they can recite in their sujood. If they want in their own mother tongue, or after the prayer they can recite in their own mother tongue, or after the halqa or the ta'aleem, the Imam can make the dua in congregation in their own language, no problem. I wouldn't think it would be advised to do it out loud in the prayer, especially from the Imam. If the Imam is not a hafiz, can he read from the Quran? Naam, it is permissible to read in the nafl prayer from the mushaf or to hold it. Some of the Imam who had some concern that it makes the person miss a couple of sunnahs, such as holding the Quran, not holding the left with the right hand, and keeping busy flipping the pages and not looking at the spot of the sujood. Now with the rahil, where they put it in front of the Imam, and one page has like one whole ruba', it can do it. But that is limited if the person is not memorized the Quran, or if the person is praying by himself. As Zakwan, a servant of Aisha radiallahu anha, used to lead the prayer holding the mushaf, and Aisha did not object to that. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Jumana from Egypt, welcome to Ask Huda.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. I cannot hear you, but I think you can hear me.
No.
I asked you 2 days ago, Sheikh, can I pay from my zakah money to support a religious channel? But I think you forgot to answer. And I have a question. If I catch cold, can I wear a mask during the Taraweeh prayer?
Okay. Naam. Okay.
Okay.
As far as your first question, you need to hang up so you can hear me. I answered that question, and the brothers said that you've called and they delivered the answer, or this is what I understood. Many of the contemporary scholars said among the categories of those who are eligible for the reception of the zakah or the zakah recipients is fi sabilillah, for the sake of Allah, which covers fighters on the battlefield, the Muslim armies and the mujahideen, and any mean that would lead to propagating Islam or spreading the deen, such as the da'wah, sending the dua, propagating Islam in non-Muslim countries, and so on. So it is not to every channel. Rather, if it is a channel that is taken upon its responsibility, propagating the da'wah and informing non-Muslims about the deen and so on, and is in need for that, then those scholars said it is permissible in this case. The second question, as far as if the person is having flu and in the prayer has to wear a mask, yes, it is permissible if you're praying in jama'ah, and not because it is contagious, and not to affect or hurt or even the least to annoy musallin next to you. Otherwise, men and women are not supposed to cover their faces, neither in the ihram nor in the prayer, whether it's fard or nafl. Thank you, Sister Jumana, and I hope the answer is clear. Now, Sister Fatima from the KSA. If a Muslim is in debt, I remember some more detail about the question that somebody who is very rich and has investments here and there, and he used to pay zakah and he has more than the nisab, then all of a sudden he lost a lot to the point that he is drowned in debt. One of the 8 categories of mustahiqi az-zakah, the eligible people to receive the zakah, is al-gharimin. Al-gharimin is different than al-madinin. Al-gharimin, those who are drowned in debt and they don't have any means. and it is not possible for them, nor is it expected for them to settle their debt. It has become too big, beyond their capacity. So in this case, those people, even if they were rich one day, they are eligible to be given from the zakah until we settle their debt. So if you think that your relative or the person whom you're talking about is categorized under this category, that he cannot pay his loan and he's not expected to be able to pay it, then he's amongst al-gharimin. But if he's a merchant where business is profit and loss, one transaction he loses, one transaction he makes a profit, not because any person in debt will give him from the zakat to settle his debt, only if he is incapable to pay his debt and is not expected to be able in the future to pay his debt. Or for instance, he will be thrown in jail and he doesn't have any source of income, things of this nature. But everyone, I mean, multi-billionaires, whenever they start a new business, they borrow money. I'm not talking now about interest-based loan or not. I'm talking about they borrow money. Is it because they borrow money and all their cash is in different properties and businesses, shops, stores, equipments, and so on? So those people are eligible to be given from the zakah? Obviously not. They must pay zakah because they can cash any of these assets and they would have plenty of cash, because this is the right of the poor. So we have to direct it to those who are eligible, not those who fake it or claim and they are not eligible. Every day as I'm going back and forth to the program or going, I see people, beggars, professional beggars across the street. I don't feel any sympathy for them. I don't feel pity, and I do not tend to give them, because I see these people on daily basis. That has become their job. Their job is to beg. You know, if those people were to beg for one day, it would be sufficient for them for the whole month, would suffice their needs and the needs of their families. But why take little if you can actually make a fortune out of that? So they are not eligible. Rather, we look for those who are truly in need, truly in desperate need. And in fact, لا يسألون الناس إلحافا, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran. They're in need, yet they don't ask. So we are required to investigate and look for them and hand over their due rights to them. Barakallahu feek. And the second question of Sister Fatima is making supplication for buying a new house. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Ashfaq from the KSA.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you, brother?
To you.
Thank you so much. May Allah bless you and your
For all
family.
the brothers and sisters in Islam, Ramzan Mubarak. May Allah accept all our good deeds.
Ameen, ameen.
Sheikh, I have a question.
No.
Can we give a zakat to a Sayyid, I mean, for the who, because they call themselves descendants of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam?
No. Okay.
Jazakallah khair.
وجزاكم. Thank you, brother Ashfaq. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم forbade آل البيت from receiving zakah. Zakah is the purification of people's wealth. So it's not supposed to be given to the most honorable, to the Prophet ﷺ or his family members. It remains for us two things. Number one, who is truly a descendant of the Prophet ﷺ, and who is from his family members or from Al al-Bayt. And why do we call him Sayyid? The word Sayyid means a leader, a master, or a chief. Based on what? If it is only based on their family lineage and because they belong to the Prophet ﷺ, I would say that is not exactly true. Because there has been some members of the Prophet's family and his uncles who were the worst and the most stern against him and against Islam. So basically what determines their righteousness is their own doing, as the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said to his own daughter Fatima radiyallahu anha, Ya Fatima, اعملي فإني لا أغني عنك من الله شيئا. Do good for your own good, because I cannot avail you an art against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I won't be able to help you. لا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى. And despite the fact that Abu Talib have supported the Prophet ﷺ and the Muslims, and he was actually imprisoned with them in the Sha'b, in the valley for 3 years, but he refused to say La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. So none of us say, may Allah be pleased with him. And the Prophet ﷺ did not attend his funeral, and he is not one of the dwellers of Al-Jannah, as the hadith says. Yes, the punishment will be lightened for him, but he is from amongst Ahlul Nar. In another hadith, the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Man abta'a bihi amalu, lam yusra' bihi nasabu. If one's deeds were not sufficient to make him saved, to make him enter paradise, to make him be freed from the fire of hell, then his nasab, his family lineage, even if he is a descendant of the Prophet's family, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, would not help him an art. This is the first thing I wanted to refer to. The second is, Ahlul Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam were not eligible for the zakah or the sadaqah because they used to have a share of al-khums. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Maryam from the KSA.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, I have few questions.
Naam.
Sheikh, the first one is, when does the time for Isha end?
Okay.
Okay. And the second one, when we pray behind the Imam and the Imam, he goes into ruku, and if we have not finished our reading Fatiha, do we immediately follow him or do we wait till we finish reading Fatiha and then go into ruku?
Okay.
Okay. Third one is wearing a cap and eating on the ground and sleeping on the ground a sunnah? Like, is it, what category of sunnah is it? Wajib?
Okay.
Or,
you said the first part is wearing what? Wearing a cap or a kufi?
Sitting on the ground and sleeping on the ground.
Okay. Thank you,
Okay.
Sister Maryam.
And one more question.
Okay.
Can we give zakah to a person who wants to pay her loan on which interest has been accumulated?
Okay, that question was just answered a few minutes ago. So I would answer your 3 questions, inshallah, but this question is answered in the beginning of the program. Barakallah fiki, Sister Maryam. The second thing is because the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would not accept the sadaqah, whether voluntary or mandatory, no sadaqah whatsoever. And this is how Salman al-Farisi recognized the prophethood of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. As he heard about his prophetic traits and the prophecies of the last prophet, that لا يأكل الصدقة ولكن يقبل الهدية. He does not accept the charity. He does not eat anything from charity. Yet he would accept the gift. So he collected some dates, and he went to him once he arrived to Al-Madinah, and he said, he opened a napkin full of dates, and he said to the Prophet ﷺ, eat, this is a charity for you and your companions. So Nabi ﷺ introduced it to his companions, and he abstained from eating. Then on the next day, he brought a similar gift, but he named it Hadiyah, and he said, eat, you and your companions, this is a gift. So Nabi ﷺ invited his companions and said, Bismillah, and he also ate out of it. So he recognized this is one of the very prominent signs or symptoms of the prophethood in Muhammad ﷺ. Since now there are no fixed shares in the welfare for those who are eligible from amongst the family of the Prophet ﷺ, some of the scholars said if they are in need, they may resort to az-zakah, simply because they don't have any fixed income or source of welfare that the state provides them with. Thank you, Brother Ashfaq, and I hope you comprehended the answer. Sister Maryam, what is the latest time for Isha prayer? The latest time is midnight. The latest time for Isha is midnight. So past midnight, Isha will be considered qada or make-up, which is, of course, it's like, when you delay Maghrib until it is Isha time, or Asr until it is Maghrib time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Saleh from United Arab Emirates. Yeah, Saleh. Okay, one more second. Go ahead. Saleh, present your question, please.
Yes, my question is regarding menstruation.
Now,
Usually, for women or ladies, when they are going through menstruation, they are not allowed to touch, must have neither to pray, but they are allowed to listen. Now, my question is it permissible, or are they allowed to recite Quran using a telephone, reciting through electronic device?
طيب.
Or they are not allowed at all to touch anything which is related to Quran or something like that?
Okay.
Like that, I mean, when it comes to recitation of Quran.
Okay, Barakallahu feek, Saleh. Thank you. Mariam's second question. If the Imam was going too fast, and to the extent that the Musallin did not catch the recitation of Surah Al-Fatiha with the Imam, provided that they started with him from the beginning, because there is a difference between this case and another case where the person walked in and he found the Imam is fixing to make ruku'. So he should make the takbir, put his hands or her hands on the chest, then afterward make another takbir and go for ruku', and that counts as rak'ah, despite the fact that they did not get to catch the Fatiha with the Imam, nor did they recite it on their own. And they're exempt, and it counts as rak'ah. But we're talking about a different case. If the Imam is going too fast, if the Imam is fast in such a way that his prayer is not proper, then neglect the Jama'ah and pray on your own, and the Imam should be alerted. But I think this is very, very rare, because if an average person is reciting Surah Al-Fatiha and they were able to recite Surah Al-Fatiha properly and make ruku' with the Imam, then maybe the problem with you, who is reciting very slowly. You need to hasten a little bit in order to catch the next rukn with the Imam. But if the person, as we all know that the Imam and the Ma'mum, every person must recite Surah Al-Fatiha on their own. If the Imam recites regularly and he made the ruku', then you need to hasten in order to finish your Fatiha and make ruku' with the Imam and catch him, even to the extent that you will be able to say Subhana Rabbiyal Azim once, or make a complete ruku' before the Imam rises up and says Sami Allahu liman hamida. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Muhammad from the KSA.
Yes. Hey.
Naam.
Say, I have two questions, say. One is, for example, in the Taraweeh prayers, I used to see people cry a lot, So how much extent the people can cry in the prayer? And my second question is, for example, in the Taraweeh prayer, we follow the Witr prayer, and then the people, will pray the Tahajjud prayer later. So the problem is the people want to pray both, the Tahajjud and Witr prayer. So how that will be working out? These are two my questions.
طيب.
Thank you, Sheikh. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Barakallah feek. Sleeping on the floor, eating on the floor. If you sleep on the floor, it's up to you. If you sleep on a bed, even on a fine bed, it's entirely up to you. These are all ni'am and blessings which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed you with, as long as from halal, and as long as the comfy of your bed does not keep you sleep so that you miss a prayer or whatever. Okay? So I wouldn't consider like deliberately sleeping on the floor, acting as a sunnah, or eating on the floor, whichever position you feel comfortable with. You can say that there is a sitting, such a sitting that if the Prophet ﷺ was sitting on the floor and eating, he would sit, bending his right knee and keeping it up, then sitting on his sitting on his left foot, for instance. I don't know how can I present it to you, but this is the way which would hold like 1/3 of the stomach. So when you get up, as long as you're sitting, you feel like you're full because you've eaten and you feel the 2/3. And when you get up, that there will be 1/3 of the stomach available for the air. So this is a sunnah. If you sitting on the floor, then in this case it is a sunnah. But the sunnah in eating is, as the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said to Umar, the son of Ibn Abi Salama, may Allah be pleased with him and his father, whom was raised by the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He said, Ya ghulam, samillah, wa kul biyaminik, wa kul mimma yalik. Oh young boy, samillah, say bismillah prior to eating. And kul biyaminik, eat with your right hand. Wa kul mimma yalik, eat from right in front of you, not from the middle and here and there. And this sunnah can be practiced even while you're eating with the spoon, or with your fingers, or eating on the dining table, or on the floor. We'll take a short break and we'll be back inshallah in a couple of minutes. Stay tuned.
Essence of Islam, Tawheed, believing in the oneness of Allah, the same message that Allah sent all His prophets with since the beginning of time.
La ilaha illallah. You need Tawheed, especially at the time of distress, at the time of need.
Tawheed first with Imam Kareem Abu Zayd in Ramadan only on Huda TV.
Ramadan is here.
We're only a few sunsets away from the month of change, an opportunity that is given to us only once a year. Take a look at this. Take a look at your future. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's a very windy and dusty day here. We're about an hour out of Cairo in the middle of the desert. Al-Ikhlas, sincerity. Whether you are alone in the middle of the ocean, in a boat, or on a river, or in a busy city street, your only way to success in this life and the next is through sincerity. Methanol, which is the fuel that is used for rockets, that is placed inside cigarettes, that we're putting into our bodies when we're breaking our fast. Subhanallah. Together, let's plant the seeds of change.
Seeds of change.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. Brother Saleh from United Arab Emirates asked about the recitation of the Quran for a woman during her menses and whether it is permissible or not. As far as the recitation of the Quran without touching the Mus'haf, this is a point of dispute between the scholars. Many scholars have given it the same hukm by analogy to al-junub. If a man is in a state of major impurity, he is not supposed neither to touch, hold the Quran with bare hands, or even to recite the Quran, or even one single ayah of the Quran. In the hadith, كان لا يحجبه صلى الله عليه وسلم شيء عن القرآن إلا الجنابة. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam would recite the Quran in every condition except if he was in a state of janaba, major impurity due to having an intimate relationship, for instance, and so on. So the other party of the scholars said, but this analogy is deficient. Why? Because in the case of a woman during her period, which may last for 8 days, more or less, or the nifas, the postpartum bleeding, which may last for 40 days, it's such a very long time, and it will deprive her from reading the Quran. So they said she should not touch the Quran with bare hands, nor hold it, but she may recite the Quran by the heart. Especially in this case, if she is revising, if she is teaching, if she is memorizing, these are valid cases where the woman will be able to recite the Quran by heart, even if she's in a state of janaba. The smartphones and the iPads and whatever digital Quran does not take the same hukm of the Quran, the hard copy. Barakallahu feek, Brother Salih. Brother Muhammad from the KSA, crying while praying in the Taraweeh. Crying is a praiseworthy behavior whenever you recite the Quran, or listen to the Quran, whether in the prayer or outside the prayer. But the problem is if it exceeds the boundaries where the crying will become with letters, or you can hear what would sound as a word like weeping and so on, that would invalidate the prayer. But mere shedding tears and feeling affected by the Quran is actually advised. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, may Allah be pleased with him, used to say, فَإِن لَمْ تَبْكُوا فَتَبَاكُوا. If you fail to cry because you're affected, then pretend, try to cry upon hearing the Quran. That would only be achieved when you understand what is being recited. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says an ayah which touches your heart, when He speaks about the fate of Ahlul Jannah or the fate of Ahlul Nar, and you are frightened or you are afraid, so normally you will cry, but crying without making that noise which would disturb the prayer or those of those who are nearby you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Asiya from the KSA.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Sister Asiya?
Alhamdulillah, fine. Sheikh, I have two questions.
No.
Question number one. In India, in some of Ayurvedic medicines, they add cow's urine. Is it halal to use such medicine?
What is it?
Question number two.
Sister Asiya, I'm sorry. Pardon me. What is it called again, the medication?
Ayurvedic medicine. There are different type of medicine like allopathy, homeopathy. This is Ayurvedic medicine. And when they make this medicine, in some of the medicine, they add cow's urine. So is it halal to use such medicine?
Okay. Cow urine.
And question number two.
No.
In India, different madhabs call adhan at different time. Example, Shafi madhab follower call at earliest time. Hanbali madhab call at latest time. Question is that to which one should follow for sahur? When should one stop eating hearing which adhan? There is 15 minutes difference in both the adhan. Why people do this?
Okay.
Is this not bid'ah?
Okay.
Jazakallah khair. Please pray for me and my family.
Okay. Barakallah feek, Sister Asiya. Thank you so much. Brother Muhammad from case A, his second question is if the person wants to pray Taraweeh and then Tahajjud. Pray Taraweeh with the Imam fully. Then if you want to pray voluntary prayer afterward as much as you want, you may. But if you happen to pray with the Imam the witr, then I would advise you after the Imam finishes the last rak'ah of the witr to add another rak'ah. So this way you would only prayed even, not witr. And then after you finish your tahajjud, you are obliged to pray the witr. Because the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, just make the last prayer you offer at night witr prayer, which means odd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Ahmed from the KSA.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, I have two questions.
No.
One regarding zakah.
No.
My question is, which type of gold? So we have different type of categories of gold: 24 karat gold, 22 karat gold,
No.
18. 20 karat gold.
No.
So according to which category do we consider the nisab?
No.
84 grams of gold. Of which type of gold does we calculate nisab on?
Okay.
And my second question is, if we have different types of female, she has different type of gold ornaments, means 24 karat, 22 karat. So she has to pay on all the categories of gold. So this is my one question. The second question is, how to offer if a person is offering a Maghrib namaz, if an imam is offering a Maghrib namaz and the muqtadi, he wants to offer Isha because maybe he is a musafir and he has already offered Maghrib. Now we want to offer Isha behind the imam who is offering Maghrib. So how should he do it?
Okay. Thank you, Brother Ahmed. Barakallahu feek. Jazakallah khairan. Sister Asia from the KSA. Using any medication that contains cow urine is impermissible because it is impure. Najis. This is impurity. And if the person happens to use it, then he has to wash up himself and clean up himself. If it is topical, if it is an internal medication that the person have to consume it, take it, such as a syrup or whatever, it becomes even worse. It is impure. You're not allowed to use it. Second question, you said about the Fajr has different madhahib. Of course not. Al-Fajr, the beginning of the time of each prayer, is very clear and obvious. And the Fajr, حتى يتبين لكم الخيط الأبيض من الخيط الأسود من الفجر. If you're talking about the two adhans, An-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, don't you guys be affected by the adhan of Bilal, because he calls the adhan while it's still dark. He calls the adhan a few minutes before, 15-20 minutes before the actual adhan of Ibn Maktoum, who calls the adhan when it becomes clear that it is dawn or Fajr time. So the first adhan is to alert the people, this is waqt al-sahar, or we are close to Fajr. Get ready if you like to grab a drink or a snack or whatever, and get ready. But you can continue to eat and to drink until you hear the actual adhan. The actual adhan is the one which contains as-salatu khayrun minan naum. So at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, there were two adhans for Fajr. An alarm adhan, and the second adhan is the actual adhan upon which you can pray the sunnah, then you pray Fajr. Barakallahu feek. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Amatullah from Morocco. No problem. Try again. Brother Ahmed from the KSA. Which quality of gold we calculate the zakah according? Is it 21 karat, 24 karat, or 18 karat? And what happens when we have mixed qualities? The gold, which we were talking about, 85 grams of gold, at the time of the Prophet ﷺ and the companions and the following generations, they used to deal with gold coins, not with papers. And the gold coins were made of pure gold, 24 karat. But you can make jewelry out of pure gold. It has to have some sort of alloy, add copper, for instance, for solidarity, in order to make it, to harden it a little bit. So the gold which we use normally is 21 karat. And this is the gold which we calculate the zakah accordingly. And if the person already has a variety of quality, 18 karat, 21 karat, and 24 karat, what happens is, if he possesses the nisab, if he or she possesses the nisab, either of only gold and other jewelry such as silver, gold, silver, and other possessions, cash, investment, saving, etc., then it doesn't matter, because all what I need to do is estimate the value of the 21 karat and the 24 karat and the 18 karat, and all of that will be added up together, and I will pay the zakah on the total sum of all what I have, 2.5%. Brother Mustafa from the KSA, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mustafa, assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah.
I'd like to say Jazakallah khair for what you're offering for all the Muslims all over the world.
Wa jazakum ya akhi, barakallahu feek. Thank you so much.
in Ramadan. Second, my question is a little bit very common among all the Muslims, especially in this holy month. You know, sir, if someone is, none of us is an angel. We are all fasting. May God accept all our good deeds. But how to be all the time in the straight path? How to avoid small mistakes? How to help ourselves? Always not to fall, especially during fasting, talking, making jokes, taking,
Yeah.
How to help, you know that hadith of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that if you do a bad mistake, a black dot would be in your heart, so all your heart would be black after some time. You know what it calls here. How to help ourselves to get over this.
Okay.
Especially during fasting.
I got your
and
question.
Make use of this fast.
I got your question, Brother Mustafa. Thank you. Jazakallah khairan. Brother Ahmed from the KSA had a remaining question, which is, if a musafir wants to pray Isha because he's combining a prayer behind somebody who's praying Maghrib. Remember that the musafir is shortening the prayer. So if the person is praying a full prayer, then you must pray full with him. But if you know that your prayer, for instance, you're praying Maghrib, which is only 3 rak'ah, behind somebody who's praying Isha, we said it is permissible because you have to keep the order, and we said how to do it. Either you sit after the 3rd rak'ah, wait for the Imam until you finish with him, or you finish it on your own because you prayed your already 3 rak'ahs. So look for somebody who's praying Sunnah, you can join him. He can be praying his 2 Sunnah of Maghrib, and you pray the 2 rak'ahs of Isha because you are Musafir. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Adnan from the KSA.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Go ahead, Brother Adnan, I hear you.
Sheikh, I have a question. Regarding to life insurance.
No.
My friend, he made the life insurance for 10 years, and every year he's paying 3 lakh rupees. And after 10 years, he can get 60 lakh rupees. Is halal or haram?
Yeah, 100% haram. No doubt in that. Life insurance.
My second question is that what is the bid'ah? Can you please explain bid'ah?
Okay, thank you, Brother Adnan from the KSA. Before I explain the bid'ah, I would like to answer Brother Mustafa how the person can remain steadfast on the straight path. It is very challenging. We forget a lot. Al-insan, mankind, in Arabic is called insan. You know why? Because it's taken from nisyan. Nisyan is forgetfulness. And al-insan forgets a lot. And he forgets what he's supposed to do. He forgets about his duties. He forgets about most important things. So if the person forgot what he's supposed to do, or forgot what he's not supposed to do and he did it, then this is an error. Then he's supposed to rush to repent unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and seek forgiveness. إنما التوبة على الله للذين يعملون السوء بجهالة ثم يتوبون من قريب فأولئك يتوب الله عليهم. The ayah says, التوبة is guaranteed and is exclusively for those whom they commit the sin out of ignorance, out of forgetfulness, out of weakness. Then يتوبون من قريب, right away they repent. And amongst the traits of al-muttaqeen, وَالَّذِينَ إِذَا فَعَلُوا فَاحِشَةً أَوْ ظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ ذَكَرُوا اللَّهَ فَاسْتَغْفَرُوا لِذُنُوبِهِمْ وَمَنْ يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ وَلَمْ يُصِرُّوا عَلَى مَا فَعَلُوا وَهُمْ يَعْلَمُونَ. Surah Al-Imran. That if they commit any sin, including al-fahisha, fornication, or any sin, major or minor, right away they remember Allah, and they remember that they have made a violation in disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَاسْتَغْفَرُوا لِذُنُوبِهِمْ. Al-fa' للتعقيب, then right away they seek forgiveness and ask Allah to accept their repentance. وَمَنْ يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Allah is asking this beautiful rhetoric question, and who besides Allah forgives sins? Yet وَلَمْ يُصِرُّوا عَلَى مَا فَعَلُوا, and they do not insist, because persisting on the sin, even if it is minor, it makes it major. So as you say, the black dot is done because of the sin. Rush to clean it up and get back on the right track. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said in the hadith, وَأَتْبِعِ السَّيِّئَةَ الْحَسَنَةَ تَمْحُهَا, and follow the evil deed with one which is good, it shall erase it. It will erase the bad deed. And that's why in Surah Hud, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّ الْحَسَنَاتِ يُذْهِبَنَ السَّيِّئَاتِ ذَلِكَ ذِكْرَى لِلذَّاكِرِينَ. Verily, the good deeds erase and remove the bad deeds. This is a reminder for those who remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if every person upon committing sin, in the hadith, the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam prescribed the 2 rak'ahs of istighfar, to make a perfect wudu and to pray 2 rak'ah nafl with the intention of seeking forgiveness, the sin will be as if it did not take place. If the person were to be alert upon committing a sin, they seek forgiveness and they follow to the good deed, they will remain steadfast on the straight path. And also remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala admired a party which would be saved in Surah Al-Asr by saying, وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. We need to keep reminding each other, enjoining what's right, and reminding each other with the duty of being patient. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Abdul Qadir from the KSA. Abdul Qadir.
Hello.
نعم. السلام عليكم.
Hello. السلام عليكم شيخ.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
السلام عليكم شيخ.
وعليكم السلام. I hear you. Go ahead.
Hello Sheikh.
Please convey the message to the
Assalamu alaikum. I can't hear you. Sir, what happened Sheikh yesterday? After I finished with it, I used to pray 1 rakah. I don't give salah. One person came out from the mosque. He was telling me, you are showing off. You do this way. You pray with 3 rakat and go as soon as you go home, you pray 1 rakat. Is it okay? You can please clarify me.
طيب, Brother Abdul Qadir, I don't need to be upset. The matter of showing off or not is something between you and Allah. No one can actually accuse another of being mura'i or showing off, or he's doing this out of sincerity. That's between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And nowadays, I say on air, and it is written everywhere, if you're planning to pray tahajjud afterward, and you want to earn the reward of praying with the imam fully, then after the imam finishes, rise up and make 1 rak'ah, so you still have to pray the witr afterward. That's a win-win game. There is no showing off in that, because nobody knows whether you'll be praying 2 rak'ahs or only witr or whatever. And it is a season. Everybody is competing to benefit out of this. So it shouldn't be a problem. Just tell the brother to take it easy and to stop accusing people of being mura'i or showing off or whatever. That is something that only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. I don't know if there is any pending question. I'm done with all the questions, and also we ran out of time. Okay, Sister Hiba from Egypt. Yesterday, her question, even though we were over time now, she says, I work and I earn and I have my own saving, but I live with my parents. Does my dad have to pay the zakah for me? No. Since you have your own position, then you're required to pay the zakah as long as you possess the nisab for 1 complete year, lunar year, you should pay the zakah for yourself. Unless, if your daddy likes to pay it for you, or if you ask him and he does not mind, there is no problem in this case. If the person offers the zakah on behalf of somebody else, similarly zakatul fitr, no problem. But who is required to pay the zakah in your case? It is you, unless if he happily agrees to pay it for you. She also runs a non-profit organization and distributing Quran and so on. She says, can I use some of this donation to pay for the transportations and the rent of the flat and so on? To run any non-profit charity organization or business, you need to fund it as well. So the donors should be aware of that. If you have brochures or flyers indicating what kind of non-profit business do you do, you have to list that so that every donor would know, because al-waqfu ala niyat al-waqf. Somebody would give you money and say that's only for Quran, so it must be spent for Quran because according to his intention. Somebody says, I'm contributing in order to help your organization spread the deen. Spread the deen. A few years ago, people used to pay to support or sponsor Ask Huda. But you think if we only pay everything to Ask Huda, we're paying also for the studio, for the electricity, for the Nile SAP. It covers other programs. But we have to make it clear that this contribution would cover other things as well, in order to be clear and not to deceive anybody. Brothers and sisters, it was a pleasure to be with you today, and that is the last episode for the week. Inshallah, hope to see you next week in a good health and iman. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech.